then Fury, why not do it? Beat down the puffed up middleweight, get that easy payday, and then you can fight Francis Ngannou, Andrew Tate, a giant squid. I don't care. Welcome to Harry's Hook. I am a journalist, big fan of boxing. I've written published articles on it. I also train and spar. In today's video, we're going to be talking Tyson Fury versus Francis Ngannou. Yes, the fight's been booked for October 28th in Saudi Arabia. I'm going to share what I think is right about the fight, what I think is wrong about the fight, but mostly I just kind of need to vent, and I'm hoping that this is cathartic for all of us. But first, if you enjoy this content, do me a solid, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let's get to 500 subs. I appreciate your support. Now, before I go off on this dine and dash, this bank heist of an event, let me just say what I think is right about this. And what's right is that I'm genuinely happy for Francis Ngannou. Okay, that man has one hell of a story. From the sand mines of Cameroon to the UFC Octagon and Heavyweight Championship. It's a story worth reading up on, and he absolutely deserves the bag, and I'm really genuinely glad that he is getting paid. Apparently this fight will be boxing rules. It's going to be in a regulation ring, 10-point must scoring system, 3 judges. Evidently Fury's WBC belt will not be on the line, and he was given special permission to go ahead with this fight without getting stripped of the belt. I'm not certain at this point whether the fight will count towards either of their official records. But I'm going to speak for myself here. Who do I actually want Fury to face? Usyk. Alexander Usyk. I want Fury versus Usyk. Jesus Christ. I want to unify the heavyweight division. I want one true, undisputed heavyweight champion. I want one title to rule them all. And I really like Fury as a fighter. All the gloves behind me, those are all signed by different boxers. Tyson Fury is one of them. But come on, he bashed Usyk, called him a puffed up middleweight, said he could easily spark him. Fury kept making demands, and Usyk reportedly accepted a 70-30 split in Fury's favor. Then Fury, why not do it? Beat down the puffed up middleweight, get that easy payday, and then you can fight Francis Ngannou, Andrew Tate, a giant squid. I don't care. But I think deep down Fury is a bit concerned about Alexander Usyk and his skills. Now, I wouldn't go as far as to say that he's scared of Usyk, but I think Fury does tend to do better against the big fighters that he can outbox and outmaneuver since he moves so well for his size. He's not going to be more mobile than Usyk, he's not going to outmaneuver him, and skill-wise, they're right there with each other. Plus, we did see Fury have a bit of trouble at times against another southpaw in Otto Wallin. And years ago, we saw Fury get dropped by SS Cunningham, a fighter who moved up from cruiserweight. And again, I wouldn't accuse Fury of being intimidated or scared, not at all. But something's going on, there's something there, there's hesitancy of some kind, and Fury prides himself on being a historian of the sport, and beating Usyk at this point would make history. He would become the first undisputed heavyweight champion since the great Lennox Lewis, his countryman, more than 2 decades ago. He would officially stamp this period of time as the Tyson Fury era of heavyweight boxing, after having ended the Klitschko era back in 2015, then battling his way back from depression and obesity to knock out twice one of the most fearsome punchers in the history of the sport, and then taking down the only other man with a claim to the crown in Alexander Usyk. Even after all that, Fury, you could still say, has a pretty top-heavy resume. He would need a few more quality wins to really etch his name in the all-time greats, okay? But defeating Alexander Usyk would most certainly enhance his legacy. This fight against Ngannou does none of that. He will be the overwhelming favorite against a man making his pro boxing debut and who hasn't actually fought since January of 2022 and who had to get surgery to repair his ACL and MCL, so he's on a banged up knee. Sure, Ngannou is a devastating puncher, no doubt about it, but so is Deontay Wilder. And at least Wilder has an Olympic bronze medal in boxing. And Wilder also was undefeated as a pro by the time he and Fury stepped in the ring. He wasn't making his pro boxing debut. And like I said, I'm happy that Francis Ngannou is getting paid. But really, this isn't the fight that I want to see him in either. I want Ngannou versus John Jones. I'm not exactly sure how that works now that Ngannou is with the PFL and no longer with the UFC. But damn it, that to me is the biggest, baddest, most fascinating MMA fight that can be made at this moment. And if enough money is involved, I have to imagine that Dana White would be willing to deal. Now look, maybe Fury is just playing games and he's going to make the Usyk fight happen after this. But Usyk is not waiting around. He is going to be fighting against Daniel Dubois in August, okay? And Dubois' nickname is Dynamite for a reason. He's got big-time power in his hands. Usyk will be favored and will probably outclass him, but who knows? And hey, maybe Ngannou shocks the world. I doubt it, but there's still risk there. I mean, what if Fury injures himself in the process? Look, if Fury and Usyk do ultimately square off for the undisputed heavyweight crown, for heavyweight supremacy, then I will likely get over this. But at the end of the day, it's on Fury to make this happen. And I truly hope that he does. And that right there is Harry's hook. Thank you for letting me vent a bit. I appreciate it. I hope it was helpful to you in some kind of way. Let me know what you think in the comments about this, let me think of a nice word, spectacle.